Never did much care for that graphic, so we thought we'd just skip it altogether. It is the 5th day of October 2022. I am Dan Kuntz. Hope you're enjoying the program so far. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and after a brief 3-week hiatus, it is back. Of course, I'm talking about Winning Wednesday. It's becoming more and more obvious as this show progresses that we don't rehearse. You've probably figured that out by now. Thanks to our friends at Quick Lube and Tune, a longtime advertiser here on solely on broadcasting, I got a free super service oil change. A free super service oil change. Yeah, free, which is like no money. That's a pretty good deal. Got a coupon for it right here. Normally a super service oil change, and I honestly don't know what that is. Roland will tell you. Normally a super service oil change runs you about $40. That's the estimated retail value, and you can do it for free if you want one. I mean, who wouldn't want a free oil change? From Quick Lube and Tube on Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue. Thanks, Roland, for the coupon. We appreciate it. So you want a free oil change from our good friends, the good guys? Send me an email. It is winner@ncwlife.com, winner@ncwlife.com. That's how you enter, winner@ncwlife.com. You know the rules by now. It's only one entry per email address. If you have more than one email address, and a lot of people do, you can enter more than once. You just can't enter continuously over and over again on the same email address. We keep track of these things. Employees of local telecommunications, solely on broadcasting, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Tucker. And I guess that's the only rules right there. There you go. It's a free oil change, a super service oil change. Again, I don't know what that means, but it sounds good to me. From our friends at Quick Lube and Tune. Send me your email. I'll give you a couple more reminders on this Winning Wednesday. Got some things you need to touch on right away. If you're planning on traveling over Stevens Pass today, you best get going now. The Bulk Creek fire has gotten pretty close to the roadway in the Bering area again, and they got to take some trees down that are hazards. So at 10 o'clock this morning, they're going to close Stevens Pass in the general area of Bering, that long straight stretch, if you're familiar with it, if you've ever traveled over Stevens, because they got to get rid of the hazardous trees, and they got to do a little firefighting. 10 o'clock this morning, they're going to shut it down in both directions. It's going to stay closed until 6 o'clock tonight. So there you go. Stevens closed in both directions in the Bering area starting at 10 o'clock this morning until 6 o'clock tonight. It's been a continuing problem since the Bulk Creek fire broke out a few weeks ago. Also, as you can tell behind me, they were a little late to the game, but they got to it. The Washington State Department of Ecology have issued an air quality alert for us. Yeah. And unfortunately, this does not have an expiration date. This doesn't either, for that matter. There's an air quality alert. They issued it yesterday afternoon. It's going to go all the way through, probably to the weekend. We got some dirty air again. We'll show you that slide in just a little bit. But we're going to have to deal with this stuff probably until Monday or Tuesday. That's when we have a little bit of a weather maker coming in. The high-pressure dome that's been dominating our weather will eventually begin to weaken and move away. But in the meantime, it's going to just sit there and fill our skies with pretty lousy air. Sorry. Forecast details are coming up. News, yes, sports. The playoffs are now set. All the seedings are set. We know who the Mariners are going to be playing. They'll be in Toronto starting on Friday to take on the Blue Jays. They split a doubleheader with the Tigers yesterday. Aaron Judge made baseball history. Plus, we'll have prep sports when we get to that. Everything else that we do to start the day, and we'll be re-airing part 2 of my 2-part conversation with Dave Erickson from the City of Wenatchee's Cultural Rec and Parks. Dave, we're talking to Dave in the back half of the program. 4 minutes after the hour. Let's go. What do we got out there, Captain? We got that. Blah. I'll tell you what the air quality is here in just a couple of minutes. We got a slide to show for you from our friends at the Department of Ecology. The situation, as the National Weather Service has explained rather handily to me, is the overnight relative humidity normally gets pretty high, especially this time of the day, right after sunrise, and the sun's coming up as we speak. Normally the relative humidity gets up to about 80% or so, and that helps tamper down and slow down the fires above Lake Wenatchee. Well, The relative humidity in the overnight hours are going to be drier than normal, and that means that the fires will be burning at more intensity in the evening hours than they have been, and that means, we're going to have considerable smoke right through the weekend. We were hoping to catch a break on Thursday and Friday. They've updated the smoke forecast. Wenatchee will get into the unhealthy category each and every afternoon, at least through Sunday, it looks like now, as we look at the valley from the east camera on top of Wenatchee Heights, camera 2. Up to, that's the Apollonie's camera, I believe, as we look out over Cashmere. Cashmere's got some pretty dirty air here at 123 Cashmere. That's unhealthy for sensitive groups. One of the things that we've noticed over the last couple of days, the air quality at the start of the day has been worse than it has normally been, and it doesn't get any better. Camera number 3. Sorry to have to tell you about all this smoke, but that's what it is. Up to Lake Wenatchee we go. Yuck. Look at that. That's just not very fun. Up there, of course, the smoke just permeates everything. Your clothes, your HVAC systems. It's not pretty up at Lake Wenatchee as the fires continue to burn. Also, the plain area has some pretty dirty air as well. There's no place for the smoke to go. The inversion is on in camera 4. We wrap it up with a lovely view of that there. I'm seeing, you threw me for a loop here, Captain. Okay, that's Lake Chelan, but I'm trying to remember what camera that is. Is that Bear Mountain? Ah, the Bear Mountain camera. Very well done, Captain. He's got it pointed back down towards Chelan proper. Chelan's air isn't as bad as it is down here, but even they've seen some pretty degrading air quality up at the lake because of the, because there's simply no place for the smoke to go. It goes up, it hits the lid, comes right back down again. So the air quality, again, an air quality alert is up. There is no expiration date on it. It just continues until they feel like taking it off. Everybody in our viewing area is going to be dealing with at least moderately bad air for the Wenatchee Valley, Leavenworth, and Cashmere, as has been the case for the last 5 or 6 days. It ain't pretty. Leavenworth right now, you're at 151. That's unhealthy, right at the unhealthy level, right there, 151. Cashmere, 123, unhealthy for sensitive groups. Wenatchee's at 114, unhealthy for sensitive groups. We will climb up into the unhealthy range again today. They had to move the Eastmont soccer game, as a matter of fact, out to Quincy so they could at least play soccer in clean air yesterday. That ain't good at all. So, from the National Weather Service, here we go. Again, smoky, hazy. Now, that high today, 82, that would be a new record high if we get there. Yesterday, we hit 80. Our record high for today is 80. So we do have a chance to break that record. In fact, it looks like we're going to do exactly that. But again, it really depends on how thick the smoke gets in the afternoon hours when the sun is at its apex. That will determine if we get into that 80 to 81 to 82 degree mark later on this afternoon. 55 for the overnight low. We're looking at sunshine mixed with haze again on Thursday and on Friday. Saturday doesn't look too good now with a high of 83. Eventually, this high-pressure dome, which is pinched between two low pressures, one to the north and one to the south, it's eventually going to break down. It's going to move away, but it ain't going to happen until the early part of next week. We'll finally have a chance of some light rain, which we desperately need on Monday and Tuesday. But until we get to that, we're going to be dealing with some pretty lousy air conditions right through the weekend. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. If they cancel the air quality alert, we will let you know, but it doesn't look like they're going to be doing that for quite some time. All right, it's 9.5 minutes after the hour. I'm going to take a break and come back with your Wednesday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
To understand someone better, walk a mile in their shoes. Or ride along in their patrol car. That's what I do with local police officers here in Washington. To hear their concerns firsthand, then fight for them in Congress. It's why I got police more funding for bulletproof vests and body cameras, and more mental health officers so cops can stay focused on fighting crime. I'm Kim Schreier, and I approve this message because our local police deserve our support.
11 minutes after the hour, we have 54 degrees. We just cooled down a couple of degrees, right? That happens right as the sun comes up. Hazy and smoky. The air quality right now is unhealthy for sensitive groups. It will almost certainly go to unhealthy, as it has been for the last few days in the afternoon hours. And an air quality alert is up and running and will continue for the foreseeable future. It's 11 minutes after the hour. Looking at some traffic delays in one of the busiest traveled intersections in north central Washington. We're talking about the intersection of 9th Street and Valley Mall Parkway. Disruptions, you're going to have to deal with them over the next several weeks because they are now beginning the process of installing real-life traffic lights at that intersection. The city of East Wenatchee said crews were drilling for the bases of the light poles. That was yesterday. It's a $1.8 million project. It's going to replace the four-way blinking light with regulated traffic lights. In addition, the city will repave 9th Street to Sunset Highway, and are also going to widen the sidewalks. The city said construction expected to continue until the middle of next month. The Chelan County PUD laid out its latest 5-year business plan for commissioners yesterday, focusing on customer service, reliability, and innovation. The plan lays the foundation for the Public Utility District's priorities and budget planning through 2027. Among other steps, the agency hopes to replace oil-lubricated turbine parts at both Rocky Reach and Rock Island dams, and to switch to eco-friendly lubricant materials. Those components have, at times, led to small spills into the Columbia River, and that has forced the PUD to pay fines to the State Department of Ecology and to sign a legal settlement with the environmental watchdog group Columbia Riverkeeper. PUD commissioners will begin studying the agency's proposed 2023 budget in hearings that start on October 17th. The newly minted Wenatchee Valley Fire Department will have a pair of open houses this month at 2 of its stations in Douglas County. The first will be this Saturday at station number 1. That's at the intersection of Eastmont and 4th Street. That's from 11 in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Second open house, October 15th at the department's new station. That's station number 4 at Cascade Avenue and 35th Street. That'll be from 11 a.m. to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Of course, the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department became official on the last day of September after voters approved in August combining Chelan County Fire District 1 and Douglas County Fire District number 2. It's been a long time coming, a couple of years anyway, but Wenatchee City Hall gets a grand reopening ceremony. On November 17th, the city has been renovating its City Hall spaces at the former federal building for quite some time. The 46,000 square foot offices take up part of the second, third, and ground floors. They include a new customer service lobby with a larger city council chamber. The city's public works, community development, and parks and recreation offices will move into the building beginning next week. Down on their luck, Panhandler got a helping hand from Moses Lake Police yesterday afternoon. The department said that about 1 o'clock, Corporal Tyler St. Ong and Officer Mitch Hoban talked with a woman panhandling for gas money, learned she had traveled all the way from the East Coast on her way home to Western Washington, but she was stuck because she didn't have any gas and she didn't have any money. So they used funds from the Blue Bridge Alliance program. The officers filled the woman's car with gas and sent her on her way. The Blue Bridge Alliance program is funded through donations and events like the recent Cops, Cars, and Coffee, and they give officers the resources to assist people who need those kinds of resources. And the state of Washington will collect more than $476 million over the next 17 years to deal with the fallout of the opioid crisis. Attorney General Bob Ferguson announced on Monday the end of litigation against the 3 largest distributors of prescription opioids in the state. And that'll send $215 million to local governments to help with addiction and intervention in their own communities. Ferguson says the first payments will begin flowing to Washington communities on the first day of December.
These significant resources will help Washington State fight back against the opioid epidemic that continues, even as we speak, that continues to rip holes through the very fabric of our communities and of families, overwhelm our public health resources, and inundate our foster care system with young innocent victims. Today we can share that 125 local governments unanimously joined our resolution against the 3 largest opioid distributors. We'll talk more details about those 125, but the settlement required them to join, and all 125 have now officially signed on. As a result, because every one of those jurisdictions have joined that resolution, Washington State will recover the full amount of the settlement that my team negotiated with these distributors. The result is more than $476 million will be directed toward addressing the opioid epidemic in Washington State. While $500 million is a lot of money, there is no amount of money that we could bring back from this litigation that would bring back the lives that have been lost because of the opioid epidemic in Washington State. And I think that's something that each of us feels acutely and still feels as we're facing it today.
The opioid epidemic has impacted countless families all across Washington. I know this very personally, as the first formerly incarcerated legislator in our state, and a person who just celebrated 11 years of recovery from opioid use disorder 3 days ago. My serious and significant substance use disorder started with prescription opiates 14 years ago. At the time, I didn't think I was an addict because I was taking them as prescribed. However, as my doctor gave me more and more and my tolerance grew, eventually I used illegal drugs. That doctor ended up losing his medical license because I wasn't alone. However, the impact of my substance use disorder caused years of pain and destruction for myself and, more importantly, for my family and my children. It changed the trajectory of all of our lives, and the trauma is not easily undone.
And you're in the loop on what's making news on this Winning Wednesday, the 5th day of October. The news with Grant and Eric comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10 are the 3 times you can watch it on television, or as we like to say in the business, TV. You can also watch it on our Facebook page and on our home page. With a preview, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, haze and above normal temperatures expected today right through the upcoming weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has results from last night's high school sports action, as well as a look at the Mariners-Detroit doubleheader yesterday. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. And don't forget, if you have a news tip or you just want to chime in, we'd love to hear from you. As much your station as it is ours. Of course, you don't sign my paycheck. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and click on the Contact Us icon, or you can go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app. Pretty straightforward. When we come back, an historic day in baseball for Aaron Judge and a certain Mariner fielder who normally doesn't pitch. Details are 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This is Kelly, owner of the Original Children's Shop in downtown Wenatchee. We carry the latest in quality children's wear like Riley and Crew, Kite Baby, Little Sleepies, and more. Come visit us for mommy and me styles, diaper bags and strollers, and great books and toys for all ages. I look forward to meeting you soon at the Original Children's Shop.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
20 minutes after the hour. Yesterday was the second to last day of baseball's regular season, and it was a pretty interesting day, to say the least. Louis Torrens becomes the first position player in Mariner franchise history to earn a victory as a pitcher. Oh, and Aaron Judge hit a home run. We'll get to that in a minute. Seattle sweeping the doubleheader from the Tigers yesterday at T-Mobile Park, but they needed extra innings to win Game 1.
And hard, Gino let it get through, and I know Badu's got that weak arm. They're bringing Gino around. Here's the throw. It is cut off. Tie ball game. 3-hit day for Carlos Santana. Tie ball game at 6-6 here in the bottom of the 10th. Payoff pitch. That'll do it. Riley Green under it. Here's Santana. Hayes gonna score. The Mariners win the ball game. 7-6 on the sac fly by Abraham Toro, making a winner of Luis Torrens, a position player. First time that's happened in Mariners franchise history. Nicely done. Win number 88.
Yeah, Torrens had just been called back up from Tacoma because Sam Haggerty, of course, is hurt. He was put on the 10-day injured list. So with the pitching staff limited because of the doubleheader and they got to get ready for the playoffs, Torrens pitched the top of the 10th. He allowed a run on one hit to earn the victory. The first position player in franchise history to do that. And then Seattle took game 2, 9-6, thanks to home runs from Abraham Toro and Cal Raleigh.
He drives this one deep to right, and he's got a home run. Abraham Toro with his 10th home run, 9th from the left-hand hitter's batter's box. No doubt about it. And he needed that in a big way. He has been scuffling, and that had a great sound, and the result was outstanding. Good for Abraham Toro with the home run. He got all of that. High drive right field. Cal's done it again, everybody. Bye-bye. Second deck tie ball game at 5-5. Home run number 27 for the big man. What a year for him. Cal Raleigh, a force to be reckoned with offensively.
Well, that took him a few ABs, but he finally gets to this high fastball. And it's a towering fly ball deep into the seats.
1-0 pitch. Ground ball, it should do it right here. Here's Frazier. In time, Mariners take the doubleheader. Final score 9-6. Good day, long day, and take it to the regular season finale before we go to Toronto and a wild card playoff on Friday.
Manager Scott Servais says the sweep of the Tigers is emblematic of the kind of season the Mariners have had.
Started the day looking for 54 outs. We actually needed 57 because we took a little longer in the first game. But before I go into any details of this game or the games today, I can't say enough about our team. I often say our guys like to compete. They know how to compete. They're grinders. They're gamers. Today is the epitome of that. You know, you're right at the end of the season. You know, we know we're going into the playoffs, but our guys don't quit. They want to win. They want to win every game. They want to win every at-bat, every pitch when they're out there, and then that's a credit to them, and really a joy being around them. They just don't back off. You know, guys are getting hit by pitches. They're fouling balls off their feet. They're getting hit by, I mean, it's crazy how banged up we are, and we continue to find a way. So, again, great day. Anytime you sweep a doubleheader, it's not easy. I don't care who you're up against or what the situation is. You have to grind through it, and obviously, a lot of offense in the second game. Another homer by Big Dumper. Great at bat there. Toro smokes a ball. Gino out there all day. Frage grinding through it. A lot of positive things. We needed to score, certainly. And, you know, Chef hung in there. Thought he was going to have a really good outing, and he got away from there a little bit in the fifth when he gave up the grand slam. But he gave us a chance. We needed to get 5 innings out of him to kind of work through our bullpen, and we were on our last guy. Literally in the last game, is just like we were in the first game, and got a little help from LT. So proud of our guys. I love this team. I've said it all year long. Everybody laughs at me and all this other stuff, but today's really the epitome of that. So
Seattle and Detroit wrap up their regular season with a day game today. It's 1:10. Marco Gonzalez gets the start. You can watch it on Root Sports Northwest. So as you know by now, we're pretty much set. Seattle will be going to Toronto. That was confirmed because Seattle, when they won the first game in Tampa Bay, lost to Boston in a rain-shortened game 5-0. That locked everybody in. Seattle gets the second wild card spot. They'll play a best-of-3 series. All the games in Toronto, they start Friday. The Rays will start their best-of-3 playoff series at Cleveland on Friday. Toronto and Baltimore, by the way, rained out yesterday. They'll try and make it up today as part of a doubleheader. History made on another front yesterday in the first at-bat of the second game of a doubleheader down in Texas.
High fly ball, deep left. There it goes! Center
first.
It's a big relief. I think everybody can finally sit down in their seats and watch the ball game. It's been a fun ride so far. Getting a chance to do this, with the team we got, the guys surrounding me, the constant support, from my family who's been with me there, through this whole thing it's been a great honor, and also, Roger Maris Jr., him and his family, supporting and being along for the ride too, to meet their family. They're wonderful people, and getting a chance to have my name next to someone as great as Roger Maris, Babe Ruth, those guys is incredible. I just try to take it one day at a time and say a prayer, go out there and just try to play my game, and never tried to focus on the number, never tried to focus on going out there and doing it. Just go out there and play my game, and if I'm good enough and God willing, it'll happen.
Aaron Judge, the American League single season home run king, was 62. All right, to the Les Schwab Prep Girls scoreboard we go. We'll start out on the pitch. Eastmont shut out Davis 3-0, scoring goals for the Wildcats. Liliana Johnson, Paige Fisher, and Kylie Matrichik. Wenatchee also picked up a shutout win on the road at Ike 2-0. Othello edged Moses Lake 1-0. Cascade clipped Chelan 1-0. Okanagan beat up on Bridgeport 10-0. Tenasket toppled Brewster 11-4, and it was Lake Roosevelt over Oroville 10-3. Volleyball, Wenatchee sweeps Ike in 3 games, 25-13, 25-17, 25-12. Eastmont fell in a tough match on the road to Davis, 3 games to none. They lose 25-21, 25-20, 25-20. Ephrata remained undefeated. They swept Prosser. Good for the Tigers. Another volleyball action last night for the smaller schools, all sweeps. Chelan, Downey, Cascade, and other winners were Manson, Okanagan, Lake Roosevelt, Brewster, Pateros, Waterville, Mansfield, and Adiat. And in the pool, Eastmont was able to top Wenatchee 104-81. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 5th day of October, Winning Wednesday. 6 obscure holidays. You can celebrate any of them or all of them. I don't care. It's National Get Funky Day. National Do Something Nice Day. National Apple Betty Day. It's National Walk to School Day. I did that all the time back in the day. National Coffee with a Cop Day. But today we celebrate World Teachers Day, which has been going on for quite some time. You can honor a specific teacher. I've talked to a lot of educators. I got educators in my family. Of course, teachers make huge contributions to society, and you can't fool the kids. The kids know the teachers that actually care, as opposed to the teachers who are running out the clock to retirement and pension times. They know. And if the teachers are out there that made a significant impact in your life as you grew up and were learning things, you still remember them years and years later. And teachers like it. When you're at the grocery store, you say, hey, that's Mr. Jones, my 3rd grade teacher. Hi, Mr. They remember that stuff. They do. So they say the greatest barometer of a healthy society is a good schools with good teachers. You got to buy that. Happy Teachers Day today. Outstanding graphic, by the way. Let's move forward. It's the bottom of the hour today in history. It only lasted 5 months, but for Chief Joseph and the Nez Perce tribe, it was over. They just couldn't do it anymore. The Nez Perce War ended after 5 months when Chief Joseph surrendered his band to the United States Army. General Philip Sheridan said, I don't blame them. He said, we took away their country. We took away their means of support. We broke up their mode of living, their habits of life. We introduced disease that they had no immune system to. We introduced decay. And because we did that, they made war against us. I don't blame them in the least. For Chief Joseph, he's just simply said, we're tired of fighting. We're cold. We're hungry. We're done. They hung it up on this date, October 5th, 1877. Baseball is a great sport. It's my favorite sport. It also has some pretty interesting rules. For instance, if the catcher drops a 3rd strike, swinging or not, the batter can attempt to go to first base. And it was this quirk in the rules, and nobody even knows why the rule exists, but it does, that was the turning point of the 1941 World Series. Brooklyn Dodgers catcher Mickey Owen was 2 outs, nobody on, top of the ninth, Ebbets Field. He dropped the third strike on a pitch to Tommy Heinrich. Tommy Heinrich ran and got to first base safely. The game should have been over. It wasn't. The Yankees got a second chance, and they rallied for 7 runs with 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning to win the game 7-4. It should have been over. It wasn't. It could have been tied at 2 games apiece. Instead, the Yankees took a 3-1 lead over the Dodgers, and they would win the World Championship the next day. Oops. 69 years ago today, Earl Warren sworn in as the 14th Chief Justice of the United States, the most significant Chief Justice of modern times, second in importance only to John Marshall. In his 16 years as the chief, you had Brown v. Board of Education, Baker v. Carr, Reynolds v. Sims, the Miranda decision, Mapp v. Ohio, Griswold v. Connecticut, Gideon Wainwright. Changed the course of this country's history and his court. It wasn't just all Earl Warren. He got the big gig, the center chair on the state back in 1953. And a happy birthday, happy 60th anniversary to the James Bond film franchise. The very first James Bond film. There have been 25 films now total in this series, but the very first one, Dr. No, was released to movie theaters on this date 60 years ago today. So if you're a fan of James Bond, this is your day. And it's still one of the most successful, if not the most successful film franchise ever. When you make 25 James Bond films, you must be doing something right. It's due birthdays. We always do presidents. Now that's a set of mutton chops right there. I should grow a pair. I should grow a pair of those mutton chops. Chester A. Arthur, the 21st president of the United States. He was James Garfield's vice president. James Garfield got shot. James Garfield died. Chester A. Arthur got the gig, filled out the rest of his term. He basically just kept the seat warm for a while. That's mutton chops right there. If you grew mutton chops like that and ran for the presidency, you're not going to get elected. Chester A. Arthur died young. He only lived to the age of 57. Wow, I outlived that guy. Ray Kroc, who joined the California-based McDonald's franchise in 1954, ended up buying out the McDonald's brothers in 1961 for $1 million each. He wanted to franchise it. They also wanted to franchise it, but he really wanted to franchise it. So he just told the McDonald's brothers to take a hike, wrote them both a check for $1 million, and took over the franchise. And now there are 37,000 McDonald's franchise worldwide, and Ray Kroc made $1 bazillion. Born in the state in 1902. He was also a little on the goofy side. Eccentric. That's right, I forgot. If you're rich and a little, you're eccentric. Barry Switzer, one of only 3 coaches to win both a National Football Championship and a Super Bowl, is 85 years old today. He won 3 national championships as the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, and he won Super Bowl 30 as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. The other 2 to perform that feat, of course, Pete Carroll, who did it at USC with the Seattle Seahawks, and Jimmy Johnson, who did it with the University of Miami and the Dallas Cowboys. Barry Switzer is 85 years old today. Some people call him the Space Cowboy. Some call him the Gangster of Love. I call him Maurice. Happy 79th, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Steve Miller. It is 35 minutes after the hour. Don't forget, it's Winning Wednesday. I'm giving away a free oil change, not just any oil change. It's a super service oil change. I don't know what that means. Sure sounds good, though. It's a $40 value, and it can be yours if you send me in an email, because if you don't email, you can't win. Winner at ncwlife.com. Winner at ncwlife.com. If you want a free oil change from our friends at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue, we'll give it away later on today. Mike McNally's opinion is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I believe we've been coming to Abby's for 56 years, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
56 years.
Remembering all the events as a family and a community that we spent at Abby's.
Excellent and delicious food at an affordable price. We're delighted that we live close enough to be able to be a frequent customer.
And we are.
And we are. In fact, we've got orders to bring home a giant pizza when we leave here tonight.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in East Wenatchee, a place for the entire family. Open daily for lunch and dinner. We use only the finest ingredients, prepared fresh when you order. The full menu includes your choice of over 20 gourmet beef or chicken burgers. And catch your favorite game in their full-service lounge while sipping on an ice-cold beer. Bob's Burgers and Brew, fast, friendly service. We will see you there.
Hey Wenatchee Valley, this is Ben Griffin. I'm here with my friend Eddie the Yeti. He wants to share some big news.
Arctic Refrigeration is now employee-owned and has a new name, Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration. I want you to remember this summer, when you're hot and sweaty, call the Eddie.
No, it's called the Yeti, Y-E-T-I, not called the Eddie.
Whatever. We are a factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Whatever it takes.
Give us a call at Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration at 509-662-5911.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCW Life channel.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, Western Christianity is focused on personal sin, considering the things that I have done wrong, saying that you're sorry to Jesus, and asking to be forgiven. Well, what about the sin of social injustice? Many of the lessons in the Bible aren't focusing on whether or not you stole a candy bar, told a lie, or said a bad word, but instead, a lot of messages, particularly in the Old Testament minor prophets and the major prophets too, they address things of social injustice. Now, the Old Testament prophets were big on chastising God's people for focusing on themselves and ignoring the poor, the hungry, and society's outcasts. Maybe the church in America should start being more concerned about racial prejudice, economic inequality, and things like whether or not we are a society that cares for the dispossessed, instead of wondering if Jesus is someone's personal Lord and Savior. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Don't
make plans to store your boat for the off-season until you've checked out the Super Package from Bob File Boats and Motors. With this package, you just drop your boat off for winterizing, and they take it from there. When you pick it up in the spring, it'll be ready to go for the next season. There are too many features in the Super Package to list here, so get the details. 509-884-3558.
Bob File Boats and Motors. We're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
ColorFX has moved their shop to a larger location to expand their services, including adding in a state-of-the-art large format printer. They got it. You need banners? They got them. You need vinyl decals for your cars, trucks, vans, or trailers in just about any size? Yeah, they got it. ColorFX has also been providing fun swag and clothing for local churches and high schools around our valley for decades. Support your local print shop. Call ColorFX in Cashmere today.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge in Leavenworth has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Crystal's Intimate Lounge is a wonderful place to relax and dine with beautiful views of the mountains. Do you have a special occasion coming up? Call Crystal's to reserve their event space. Whether your event is grand, intimate, or casual, Crystal's provides unforgettable food and superb service. Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge, proud to be serving fabulous food and drinks. When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Once again, our continuing conversation with Dave Erickson, the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services for the City of Wenatchee, and the man who declined to run for a third term for Cashmere City Council solely to write his best-selling book, Why I Decided Not to Run for a Third Term for the Cashmere City Council. Dave Erickson, it's good to see you, my friend.
You too. Thanks, Dan.
We're here at the Okanagan Community Garden. A brief little history of this rather unique plot of land pretty close to downtown Wenatchee. It was a city lot. A number of years ago, the city sold it to a private concern under the auspices that if the private concern didn't do anything to the property for a certain amount of time, the city reserved the right to buy it back for the costs that they paid for it, and that's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. The city retook ownership of this property late winter, early spring?
About like 2015 or so.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
and then
it was like, probably way early in
but
spring.
Nothing really happened until, hey, we got this funky lot right in the middle of the Grandview Historic District. What do we do with it? And start me from there.
Yeah, so we sent out mailings to the entire neighborhood, everybody around, and went through a park design process over a period of about 9 months in 2017. Said, hey, what would you guys like to see in this property? And came up with 6 different concepts, and out of those concepts, a community garden kind of floated to the top. And here we are, just a few short 5 years later, have the funding in place to actually start getting this thing built. So We're in the process of finishing up phase 1, which is putting in the outside landscaping and getting all the utilities in. You can see the fence is starting to go up. And then next year coming back in with phase 2, which would build the approximately 40 raised garden beds, put water to all of those beds, put in the walkways, and then also the shed and a few other amenities. So
it's a unique lot, so you really had your hands were kind of tied on what you could do with it, right?
Very challenging site. Yeah, so not only do we have setbacks all the way around on a triangle-shaped piece, so it really narrows down what you can do, but once you start scratching the surface down here, it was solid bedrock almost everywhere. So we had a really difficult time even getting irrigation in the ground. So it's a good thing we're doing raised beds because we can't really go down below.
A lot of big boulders. You found huge boulders, the size of cars down there that you probably didn't know were there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they were huge. The end of the property, under the sidewalks, all the way out, completely full of rock.
Did that mess up with the timeline at all, or are you just kind of we got to get rid of them one way or the other?
Yeah, no, it actually worked out just fine. We were planning on doing this project late summer, early fall, and here we are, and we're pretty close to being done with this phase.
And you're doing this kind of backwards.
We are.
Yeah. Explain that.
Yeah, normally, so what we would do is we build it from the inside out, but because of the way some of the elements came together, we're having to do it outside in. So we have the utilities into the park or into the property. At this point, we're doing the fence and all the street trees and the sod you can see is out there. But now we'll come back in next spring, and that's when we'll do the raised beds and everything else.
And you have people who are you have a waiting list for people who want to use this community garden once it's up and running.
We do, yeah. So it'll be a reservation based, just like we have with our other community garden program. And people are super excited and interested about doing this. So hopefully we'll have more space so gardeners can get out and really enjoy and grow some locally owned produce.
Will there be a garden season here in 2023? Is the timeline maybe some late season vegetables, like maybe some pumpkins and some corn, stuff like that?
Yeah, maybe late season. We don't know for sure yet. It'll just kind of depend on how long it takes us to do the insides.
And it's good to see what would otherwise be an unattractive eyesore close to the heart of downtown have something done with it.
Yeah, you know, with the amount of people moving into the community or going into apartment living, and the amount of new apartments that are coming into just the downtown area, this should really be a great opportunity for those folks to actually get out and be able to grow some food.
A couple of years ago when we visited with Dave up at Washington Park, historic Washington Park, the big old trees right along Washington Street were heaving up the sidewalks. They were either dead or dying. They all had to be removed. They were all removed. You have since made those improvements. You planted the correct kind of trees, all those important things at Washington Park. Give me an update there.
Yeah, so we replanted the trees. And then this year we're starting the process to replace all the sidewalks around the park too, but they're in really rough shape. So this spring we replaced the sidewalk all along Washington Street. A little bit here in a couple of weeks, we're going to start the process of adding a sidewalk on the south side of the park. So you'll be able to walk a loop around the park if you're there watching your kids for soccer or whatever they're doing. You can walk a loop and get your fitness in then too. So that work's going to start here pretty soon. You'll see that happening on the restroom side of the park.
When these projects come up, like the community garden here in the Washington Park, how do you find out with you and your brethren with the city where Parks and Rec picks it up and M&O doesn't? How do your roles collide in that regards when it comes to maintenance and operations as a public works as opposed to Parks and Rec?
So a lot of times it depends on the skill set of our employees as well as the size of the project. So if it's a smaller project, this is kind of the extent of our smaller projects. Then our guys can do it. We try to do that because it typically saves money. If it's a little bit bigger project, then we're going to have to contract that out to a larger company, like we're doing down at Lincoln Park, for example, with KRCI or Hearst Construction at a couple of our other projects.
Just because summer is over and the pool is closed doesn't mean that your programs grind to a halt. You got a lot of things coming up this autumn, a lot of club programs that are all sponsored by the city, super cheap for city residents to get involved in for the kids and whatnot.
Yeah, youth basketball. So 3rd, 4th, 5th grade boys. That's coming up. Registration deadline's October 12th. You don't want to miss out on that. And then the draft is the following week. And games will go all the way up through mid-December. We've got drop-in adult co-ed volleyball. So that's going to be at Foothills Middle School coming up in October as well, mid-October. And then, of course, the one that you can't forget is the Halloween Carnival. And that's down there on Wenatchee Avenue, of course, on Halloween at 3 o'clock. So.
And you are moving your offices. Your office is where all the equipment is on McKittrick Street, where they have the snow plows and big rigs that move around. But you're going to be moving to the new and improved City Hall.
Yes, we are. So we're going to be moving our offices in pieces because we do have programs and events happening. So we'll be moving down to City Hall, and our offices will be open for us anyway, November 1st. And then City Hall is doing a big ribbon cutting on November 17th, right out in front of City Hall. You can come down and watch that too.
And a friendly reminder for the people of the city of Wenatchee and all of North Central Washington for that matter, these are your parks. The recreation programs that Dave talked about, volleyball and basketball, they just don't do that to keep Dave busy in the wintertime. It's for you folks to go out and enjoy and pertain in living here in the Wenatchee Valley and in the city of Wenatchee. This is why your parks department exists to begin with.
Exactly, yeah. What we do is every 6 years we adopt a comprehensive plan, and that plan is based on the input that we receive from the city and from the residents. And we're actually going to be updating that plan next year for the next 6-year period. And that outlines the projects and the parks and the different programs and things that we do for that time period. So it's really important to get involved so that way then we can continue doing things like this.
And knowing you're probably already working on the next 6-year plan as we speak, as you make your rounds around town.
We do have a file started on things that come up during the time. So.
I bet you do. Dave Erickson, the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services for the city of Wenatchee with our twice-a-year checkup, spring and fall, and it's always good to see you, Dave. And next time you need me, you know where to find me.
I do. Right across the street.
That's right. You're right. You will be right across the street. I'll come over and bug you.
Perfect.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group here in North Central Washington. And it's that time of year again. October 15th to December 7th, that is the time if you have a Medicare plan, do I want to keep it or do I want to change it? For any of those questions, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group because we're independent agents. We don't work with one company, we work with many companies because all of you have different situations and needs. So if you have questions about 2021 Medicare plans, give us a call, 888-2600.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Are you caught in a conflict with a family member, in the workplace, or with a neighbor or business? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on topics like conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us at 509-888-0957 or www.wvdrc.org to learn more.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Winning Wednesday is back, and we didn't do it, for a few weeks. Long story, you don't need to know about it. Up for grabs today from our friend Roland and the whole crew at Quick Lube and Tune there on South Wenatchee Avenue. It is one free super service oil change. I don't know what super service means. I should have asked Roland about that. Normally, if you got a super service oil change, it runs you about $40 there. Pretty good deal if you ask me. Or free, which is a better deal. You want to win a free super service oil change from Quick Lube and Tune? Email me. winner@ncwlife.com. winner@ncwlife.com. One entry per email address. Employees of local telecommunications, solely on broadcasting, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Jonathan. And if you do not enter the contest, you are ineligible. So you must enter the contest in order to win the contest. Can't forget about that. Again, a free super service oil change from our friends at Quick Lube and Tune. Up for grab today. Quick Lube and Tune. I'll never get that right. A couple things to touch on here. Number one, Highway 2, Stevens Pass, is going to close in the general area of Berrien. If you take Stevens Pass, that long straightaway once you get past Skycombers. They're going to close it at 10 o'clock this morning, and it's going to stay closed until 6 o'clock tonight. They got to do some fire mitigation, and they also have to remove some hazardous trees that if they don't, they have the possibility of falling on Highway 2. So if you need to go over Stevens Pass today, you better get going here in the not-too-distant future, because at 10 o'clock, they're going to shut it down until 6 o'clock tonight while they can get this work done without having to worry about traffic in the meantime. That's number one. Number two, air quality alert has been issued upon the Washington State Department of Ecology. Yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets better. This is the shot from about an hour ago, and it has gotten worse. When this show began 1 hour ago, Wenatchee was at 114 on the scale. We are now at 123. Unhealthy for sensitive groups. Kashmir, an hour ago, was at 123. They're now at 141. Gotten worse there. And Leavenworth, they were at 151 when this show started an hour ago. They're now at 154. And as I mentioned at the start of the program, relative humidity in the overnight hours goes up, and that dampens down the fires. But the National Weather Service says the relative humidity in the overnight hours for the next 4 or 5 days is going to be drier than normal, and that will allow the fires in Lake Wenatchee area to burn with more intensity in the evening hours, which is why they think we're going to be in for some pretty lousy smoke for the foreseeable future. In fact, the air quality alert doesn't have an expiration date or time. They just said until further notice, the Wenatchee Valley is in for air quality alert. Sorry, folks. In the meantime, we do have an opportunity to set a new record. The record high for October 5th is 80 degrees. That was set back in 1993. We're going to be around 80 at least, maybe 81 or 82. We hit 80 yesterday. Again, a lot of it depends on how thick and how prevalent the smoke and the haze is going to be in the afternoon hours. We'll just have to wait and see. 55 with the overnight low. Looks like it's going to be pretty smoky again on Thursday. Again, very, very warm. Our normal high this time of the year is 68. We're going to be well above that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The high pressure ridge, which has been dominating our weather with the inversion layer keeping the smoke on the ground, will start to break up and move away on Monday and Tuesday. Boy, could we use the rain. That's it for us. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.